In recent weeks, Jungkook's solo album has witnessed a notable surge in popularity, particularly in the US streaming market. Tracks from the album are reappearing on major playlists, digital sales are climbing, and several songs have once again entered Spotify's Viral 50 charts in key regions including California, Texas, and New York. Naturally, this has sparked a wave of speculation among fans and industry analysts alike. Could Jungkook be planning a second solo tour in the United States? Several industry indicators suggest that the idea may no longer be far-fetched. The renewed success of the album, months after its initial release, has led many to believe that Jungkook may consider expanding his solo career footprint further, especially in the North American market where metrics continue to rise organically. A Reemerging Album, a reignited market music rarely gets a second wind on this scale without a significant cultural reason. But in Jungkook's case, the momentum seems natural. With social media algorithms reintroducing his music to newer audiences and short-form video creators frequently using tracks from his album, Jungkook's sound is finding fresh traction without any newly released material. For example, songs like Standing Next to You, Yes or No, and Closer to You have suddenly regained attention, climbing Spotify and Apple Music rankings across several Western countries. This unusual chart behavior has left music data analysts puzzled, yet intrigued. Some believe this could represent the start of a second album wave, the kind that artists often ride with deluxe editions, reissues, or follow-up promotions. And if so, what better way to re-engage with this rising interest than a second tour? Fans are ready, and loud about it if social media is any indication. Fans are already preparing. Posts under hashtags like hashtag Jungkook2ND Tour, hashtag Golden Returns to US, and hashtag Jungkook Encore Tour have flooded X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse. Many fans express a mix of hope and confidence that Jungkook will return to the US stage, this time with more experience and possibly a new creative direction. While some speculate the tour might focus exclusively on new material or unreleased songs, others believe it would be a continuation of his previous concert era, amplified by better production, a longer setlist, and deeper connection with Western fans. Either way, the demand is unmistakable and growing louder by the day. Internal signals from HYBE, industry watchers are also paying attention to HYBE's subtle moves. Updates to Jungkook's official artist channels, the quiet re-promotion of certain music videos, and the strategic reposting of older live clips all indicate that internal discussions may already be happening. In K-pop, where fan engagement is closely tied to every move an agency makes, such activity is rarely coincidental. Additionally, Jungkook's global brand partnerships have been unusually active again, signaling renewed visibility. These campaigns often align with touring schedules for maximum exposure, leading many to believe that brand-aligned dates or event-based performances could be in the planning stage. Possible venues and structure. What could a second tour look like? If Jungkook were to mount a second solo US tour, analysts suggest that it might follow a different strategy from the first one. Rather than debuting with a limited city list or promotional style showcases, a second tour could aim for larger venues, longer durations, and thematic storytelling across each performance. Potential venues could include Barclays Center, New York, Chase Center, San Francisco, Kia Forum, Los Angeles, TD Garden, Boston, Toyota Center, Houston. Another possibility is that the tour might be branded as a Golden Encore or Chapter 2 continuation, perhaps not an entirely new concert era, but a refined, extended version of his debut solo tour. This would allow Jungkook to capitalize on the current interest without waiting for a full new album cycle. Timing. When could it happen? Timing is key, especially when dealing with an artist currently enlisted in South Korea's military service. But that doesn't mean preparations aren't already underway. If Jungkook's discharge is expected within the next 9 to 10 months, it gives his team a runway to quietly build out concepts, lock in venues, and prepare content, without the need to rush. Should a second tour be scheduled for late 2025 or early 2026, it would align perfectly with industry cycles such as award season, festival calendars, and holiday concert windows. This would not only boost visibility, but allow for major press coverage and sponsorship integration, two elements that enhance a tour's financial and cultural impact. What would be different this time? A second solo tour would carry different expectations. Jungkook is no longer a newly minted solo artist. He has proven his viability as an individual performer, a charting act, and a digital trendsetter. The second tour would be seen less as a debut and more as a statement of longevity. This opens the door to more live band arrangements, greater artistic control, and perhaps the inclusion of new genres or formats. Fans and critics alike would be watching for signs of musical evolution. Will Jungkook stay rooted in contemporary pop? Or experiment with jazz, acoustic sets, or even EDM-infused live sessions? One thing is certain: expectations would be higher. And so far, all signs indicate that Jungkook has the capacity and demand to meet them. Final thought: speculation, but rooted in evidence as of now. A second US solo concert tour by Jungkook remains speculative. No tour dates, press releases, or official statements have been issued. But in the modern music world, data speaks louder than press conferences, and all the data is leaning in one direction: up. With a rising solo album, increased digital discovery, and a visibly mobilized fanbase, the possibility of Jungkook stepping back onto American stages is no longer a fantasy. It's a strong potential scenario waiting to unfold. Whether it comes in the form of a full arena tour, a mini concert series, or a festival run, fans and insiders alike agree. Jungkook's next chapter in the US may already be writing itself. The data points are clear. Jungkook's solo material has gained renewed traction not just as a standalone success, but as an indicator of how K-pop soloists can operate globally with less dependency on traditional release cycles. This shift could be quietly redefining what it means to be a K-pop artist in a post-group, digitally driven music industry, a new model for global solo success. Traditionally, K-pop artists have operated on tightly coordinated release strategies. Comebacks are highly visual, often anchored by synchronized promotions, variety show appearances, and tour cycles. Jungkook's current resurgence, however, has been largely algorithmic and organic, powered by listener behavior and content creators rather than agency-scheduled activity. This reflects a significant evolution. K-pop artists may no longer need to rely solely on Korean entertainment systems to sustain relevance. For other agencies, especially mid-sized labels, this introduces a potential new model. Instead of focusing exclusively on debuting new idol groups, companies may begin investing more seriously in developing solo careers with cross-market flexibility. Jungkook's success suggests that soloists with the right vocal tone, international-friendly production, and visual storytelling can carve out their own path, not merely as extensions of idol groups, but as globally competitive solo brands. Influence on younger K-pop artists and trainees and new artists entering the industry are also paying attention. While the previous generation idolized BTS for their team unity and synchronized artistry, the emerging generation is starting to see the value of individual artistry and long-term brand planning. Jungkook's solo success, particularly in English-language markets, may accelerate the trend of artists focusing on language training, genre versatility, and building personal music portfolios early in their careers. Some training programs within Korean labels have reportedly begun placing more emphasis on digital self-branding, songwriting, and streaming strategy, preparing new talents to perform well in global digital ecosystems, where content reaches audiences without needing localized
promotion.
In this environment, the Jungkook model, where a hit song can revive months after release, becomes a goalpost, not an anomaly. Impact on group strategies. Jungkook's momentum as a soloist also raises strategic questions for group-based promotions, not only for BTS, but for K-pop at large. If solo material can perform this well without overlapping group promotions, labels may start spacing out group and solo schedules further, allowing members to maximize their individual cycles before regrouping. This staggered system could keep group names active in the charts throughout the year, as each member builds their own narrative without saturating the market. This model may eventually become a hybrid group strategy, where the group exists as a brand platform, but each member functions like a franchise. Much like how American pop groups in the 2000s, e.g., Destiny's Child and SYNC, saw members branch out into sustainable solo careers, K-pop groups may follow suit, deliberately supporting multi-identity careers under one label infrastructure. Shifts in Western market behavior toward K-pop. Another emerging factor is how Western audiences and media platforms are reacting to Jungkook's continued chart presence. His success, driven by streaming and discovery, signals to Western labels and music platforms that K-pop artists can thrive under standard Western metrics, without the need for separate classification. In other words, Jungkook's solo material isn't just successful for a K-pop artist, it's successful as global pop, period. This could lead to increased playlist inclusions, editorial focus, and radio interest for other Korean soloists. In fact, several DSP, digital service provider, insiders have stated that Jungkook's rising numbers are making editorial teams more comfortable integrating K-pop material into mainstream pop, or today's hits categories, breaking down genre barriers that previously siloed non-English music. Additionally, brands and sync licensing teams in the US and Europe may view Jungkook's model as a sign that Korean soloists are commercially viable for campaigns and soundtracks without needing Western collaborators. This independence increases negotiating power for both the artist and the label, as it proves that global reach is achievable without altering creative direction. Strategic implications for HYBE and competitor labels. From a business standpoint, Jungkook's solo resurgence may serve as a live case study for HYBE. With multiple BTS members active or preparing solo material, HYBE can now compare real-world data and engagement patterns to optimize future promotional investments. Jungkook's model, low promotion, high return, could inspire a more digital-first solo strategy that focuses on long-term discovery rather than initial chart impact. Other top-tier agencies like JYP, YG, and SM Entertainment are likely to monitor these outcomes as well. If a soloist like Jungkook can reach US audiences through indirect momentum, then solo rollouts might become less about hitting domestic milestones and more about designing content that feeds discovery algorithms globally. Already, some labels are recruiting producers from Western markets to create material that doesn't require translation to succeed on platforms like Spotify and TikTok. Influence on international tours and scheduling. Jungkook's US popularity also impacts how global tours may be scheduled going forward. If demand for a soloist remains high, even without a recent release, concert logistics may be adjusted to prioritize geographical hotspots over promotional necessity. This could result in Korean solo artists appearing in Western tours more frequently, even if they don't have a fresh album. As a result, tour strategies could become more data-driven than album-driven, mirroring what's already happening in the global hip-hop and EDM scenes. Artists tour where the numbers say to go, not just where the label thinks a promotion cycle should be. A broader shift. K-pop as a global music infrastructure. In the larger view, Jungkook's solo success reflects K-pop's transition from a regional genre into a global music infrastructure. The genre is no longer confined to soul-based production cycles or fan-centric promotional tools. Instead, it is becoming a format, a way to develop and market artists for sustained international growth. Jungkook's rise demonstrates that the K-pop formula can now evolve. It doesn't always require synchronized choreography, music show performances, or week-long variety appearances. In some cases, it simply requires strong music, platform compatibility, and an artist willing to grow beyond the traditional mold. Social media activity has been at the core of Jungkook's ongoing solo resurgence. Following the album's return to international streaming charts, thousands of fan accounts began ramping up coordinated digital efforts. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse, tags such as hashtag Jungkook Encore Tour, hashtag JK Tour 2025, and hashtag Golden Returns to America have trended intermittently. Unlike casual fan engagement, these posts are often strategic. encouraging mass streaming at specific times, sharing speculative dates, and mock tour posters circulating playlists that mimic hypothetical setlists, reposting old performance clips to increase visibility on short-form video platforms. Additionally, fan-led streaming accounts are organizing milestone goals for Jungkook's top solo tracks, such as reaching 500 million streams for 7 and pushing Standing Next to You into Apple Music's top global chart. These behavior patterns mirror what typically happens before a tour announcement, not after. This kind of digital preparation suggests that fans believe a tour is not only possible, it's imminent. In effect, they are working in parallel to the industry, ready to provide immediate momentum if an announcement drops. A second wave of speculation centers around what official merchandise could accompany a solo tour. While Big Hit has not hinted at any new merch drops, fan predictions are being shaped by Jungkook's existing aesthetic and recent public appearances, based on the look and feel of his previous solo promotions, especially the Reemerging Album campaign. Fans anticipate a blend of modern minimalism with metallic accents, clean logo designs, gold and black color schemes, and understated apparel such as oversized hoodies with his solo logo tour date t-shirts with holographic prints, journals, or photo books featuring black and white behind-the-scenes photos, reusable water bottles, or accessories linked to his fitness and lifestyle image. Additionally, speculative designs have already appeared on fan-run merchandise forums. These are not official, but they do reveal expectations regarding pricing, aesthetic tone, and functionality. Many fans are also expecting a limited edition vinyl drop, possibly for Record Store Day or a deluxe reissue, if a second concert is confirmed. The market data from previous BTS and Jungkook solo merch drops suggest that demand would be immediate and global. Should HYBE open pre-orders tied to tour ticketing platforms, early access to limited items could also serve as an incentive for ticket buyers, especially for fans traveling across countries to attend. One of the most prominent threads in current fan conversation revolves around venue predictions. Fans have gone as far as mapping out potential routes for a Jungkook tour based on past BTS locations, Spotify listener density, and local fan club activities. The most frequently mentioned cities and venues include Los Angeles, Kia Forum, New York City, Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center Chicago, United Center Dallas, American Airlines Center San Francisco, Chase Center Toronto, Scotiabank Arena Atlanta, State Farm Arena Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena Miami, Kaseya Center, and speculative maps circulating online. These venues are plotted in potential loops that mirror standard North American touring patterns, starting in the West Coast, moving through central hubs, and closing on the East Coast. Fan planners have even matched these stops to seasonal periods, e.g., spring or fall 2025, assuming potential weather and travel considerations. Beyond speculation, what's notable is the confidence level. Fans are not guessing if Jungkook will tour, they're guessing where and when. Given the lessons learned from BTS's previous global tours, where ticket platforms crashed due to demand, many Jungkook fans are already preparing for competitive sales windows. Online groups are forming regional teams that help new fans set up accounts with Ticketmaster and Weverse, organize practice simulations of ticket purchases, translate FAQs, and prepare local travel guides, encourage saving for multiple dates, especially for international attendees based on analytics from previous sales events. Ticket demand for Jungkook's first hypothetical solo tour could exceed supply by several times over, particularly for major hubs like LA and NYC. This second tour, especially if billed as an encore or a limited series, could see even faster sellouts. Several travel agencies have also expressed interest in pre-packaging fan travel experiences, hotel plus merch plus ticket bundles, particularly in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Europe. The logistics of international fan travel are increasingly part of the K-pop concert ecosystem, and fans appear willing to pay a premium to see Jungkook live.